Hey, welcome in everybody to another episode of Launchpad Reseller Podcast. I'm your host, Bob, the Rocket City reseller. Whether you've been selling for 20 minutes or 20 years, we're sure that there's something that we can learn together in the world of reselling. I do this thing with some colleagues, some co hosts, some resellers with the mostest. Ashley, she shed 244 live from Kentucky. What's up, Ashley? She's in
Hey,
Kentucky,
how's
y'all.
everybody? I
We'll get
know
it. We'll get into
Kentucky.
that in a minute. Yeah. And then we also have Tennessee underscore treasures Ellie out there in Tennessee, hustling and homeschooling and doing all the things. Hey, Ellie, how
Oh,
are you?
thanks. Hey.
Appreciate you doing this. And of course, in this episode, we are talking to Drifting Thrifters. Krista, welcome to the podcast, Krista. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we were just talking behind the scenes, and I was just thanking you for coming on the podcast. And we've talked to a lot of guests so far on the podcast. We're just about mid-season through. Um, Season two, Krista. This is a spoiler alert for you. Season two is going to be starting in June. You get a first heads up on that one. So
Awesome. Don't
yeah,
I
now
feel
everybody
special?
knows. We actually are pre-recording this episode. This will drop on May 18th, and we appreciate you coming on pre-recording for this. For those listening on Spotify, we appreciate you guys tuning in on Spotify and listening to this podcast. Also, Ellie, what do we discuss about the podcast? What do we figure out about this thing?
Listen, it's like 90% of y'all are not subscribed. We're going to need
Yeah,
a subscribe and a like, please.
yeah, yeah. We get like 7,000 views a week on this thing, and only 500 subscribe to the channel. That's just wild to me. That's
Yeah.
crazy. So you guys are tuning in, you're enjoying yourself. We're just asking for a kind subscribe or like. Even comment in the comments definitely helps the podcast grow, gets the message out there to other resellers. And Krista, we appreciate you allowing us to have the time for that intro. We appreciate you. All right, so let's get into it, Krista.
No problem.
Tell me about Drifting Thrifters reselling journey. For those that don't know, we all know because we met you through
Mhm.
whatnot. Tell us about
Yes,
what's going on with you. How did you get into reselling? Tell us all about the things. What's going on? Give us the deets
I
below.
started with reselling because I'm actually a really hard worker. And I was working two jobs when I lived in New York with my parents. And when I ended up in Virginia, I was still working two jobs. And I was still barely making my bills. And I'm like, there's got to be something better. Like, I'm working hard, but I'm working hard for someone else. I don't want to have to clock in for someone else. Every time a manager told me to do something, I was like, I don't care. And that's when I knew like the working was not for me. And then I don't know, I think I found Rally Roots first and then Harry Tornado. And they kind of put the idea in my head of checking out thrift stores. And at first I had the idea like, hey, I'm stealing from the poor. I can't do that. Like, I can't go to a thrift store, buy something at such a discount, and then go and sell it online. That was just my thinking. And then I heard other people talking about it. I'm all about listening to other people. And I heard other people talking about it. I'm like, they are living their lives this way. Like, this is how they pay their bills. It's a real thing that a lot of people are doing. So I was like, you know what? Let me try. I had paid off all of my rent 1 month and all of my bills, and I had $5 left to my name. I hadn't bought groceries yet. And I had two jobs. Two jobs. And when I tell you two jobs, I'm saying like when I was in New York, I was working 40 hours full time on the cruise. And that would be like what I did at night. And sometimes I would do overtime there. I worked up to 50, 60 hours on that cruise. And I still went to work in the morning at a movie theater closer to my house. So the traveling wasn't so bad because I had to take public transportation. So I was working a lot of hours and I moved to Virginia and I have all these bills that I need to pay. And now I was at this point where I still only have $5 left. Every time I got a raise at work, my rent went up. And I was like, okay, this is crazy. I can't do this.
Yeah.
So I took the $5. I actually went right across the street over here from my house where I'm living now. And it's a children's school for something. And they were doing like a donation sale. And they had two IBM typewriters. And I was like, F yes, I know exactly what these are. Grabbed them both, gave them my last $5. I was like, that's all I got. I'm so sorry. And then someone else ended up giving me a whole bunch of books and these shelves, the black shelves. She gave me these shelves and all the books on it. She was like, I don't want it.
Wow.
And the 2 typewriters and the books that I got off those shelves started me off on reselling. Just everything. Got my business license, did the whole EIN number, all the stuff, signed up for everything I was supposed to, my zoning permit, all that I had to pay for. It paid for everything. And I just started, kept going to the thrift store, kept going to estate sales, yard sales, church sales, flea markets, private picks, everywhere. I was doing everything.
Now, during that time, were you still doing the cruise ship and doing both, burning the candle at both ends, or did you make a decision at one point just to stop everything and just go full tilt reselling?
Oh, no. I don't like putting all my eggs in one basket. So I kept both jobs while I was doing the yard sale thing because it was more for research to see if I can even find stuff. Because, some areas there's just nothing. And this was before the whole online shopping, before COVID and all that. So everybody was really going to stores. But once I hit a certain, I don't remember what it was, but once I hit a certain point, I quit one job and then took reselling more serious and still kept my second one. And then after a couple years, I think I ended up, I actually burned a bridge. I got fired from the other job.
Perfect. That's not the first time we've heard that in this podcast.
It was a points thing. I'm not used to it. It's like every time you come late, you get a point. In New York, we don't do that. It's just you're late and they dock your check. That's just what it is. So I wasn't used to this points thing. And all of a sudden I had 30 points and I'm fired. And I was like, well, see you guys later. I'm good on that anyway. And I just ended up leaving. And I was like, well, reselling just became my full-time job and I have bills to pay. So let's go.
So
go ahead, Allie.
So what year did you start and
I was
how
going to
long
ask the same
did
thing.
it take you to get to full-time?
Since full-time kind of happened, it wasn't exactly my choice. I still wasn't, I don't know if I was where I wanted to be. I can't remember. I've been in business. I've actually been in business. I think I just renewed my license again. 6 years. But I was thrifting and figuring things out, still working the 2 jobs 2 years prior to that, I think.
So about
Okay, that was going to be another question is did you go ahead and get that license and stuff right away or
Oh no.
Okay. Yeah,
No.
that makes sense.
And I don't suggest doing it either.
Yeah.
I do not suggest getting a license right off because you have no idea. Especially for me, I'm new to Virginia, so I wasn't even sure where the thrift stores were. I'm from New York. That's where I grew up. I've only been in Virginia. I say only, but it's been like 10 years, 11 years, 12 years, something like that. So I've been here a while, but I also don't drive. So getting around.
So what is that? I was going to say, what does that look like trying to travel and get to thrift stores?
Well, lucky for me, the town's small. But I also have friends that just go to thrift stores anyway, and I get in the car with them and we just go. It's never been hard for me to find a ride to get anywhere.
That's good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So going from New York City to Virginia with public transportation being so readily available, and then going to nothing must have been a little bit of a culture shock for sure. Did you ever do any thrifting when you were in New York at all? When you were growing up, or
no? We went yard selling. Strictly yard selling. That was my grandma's thing. She still talks about it now, actually. She goes yard selling for everything. And this is my mom's mom, who pretty much raised me. I was always with her. So if she had to go somewhere, I had to go with her. Like, she even brought me to Mother-Daughter Day at school. She was a teacher, and she brought me to her school for Mother-Daughter Day because my mom couldn't. Her job was violent or whatever. Yeah. And not violent, but she worked in a crazy institute, so you can't exactly bring children there. Yeah, she took care.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that for sure.
No, so my grandma took me with her to her school, and when she went yard sailing, she did the same thing. She just took us with her, and I never really thought much about it until I got older, and I was like, well, let me try this new thing that I've never heard of before.
So you get these, would you say they were typewriters?
Typewriters.
So those were your first listings, or how did that play out? Like, walk us through, what was your first sale? Was it eBay, or what platforms?
I started on eBay.
Mhm.
Everything was only on eBay. I didn't cross-list or anything. I thought cross-listing was stupid at the time. I was like, why would you want your attention on so many marketplaces? That's just crazy to me. But the first sale I ever made was this awesome set of World War II binder. I don't know. It was a book set, but they were in binders, and it just was full of all this amazing, awesome stuff. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what was in it, but amazing set. And it sold for, was it like $200 or something? And that was the first sale I ever made, and I did mess up on the shipping for that. I messed up so bad. But it was fine because it was media mail. So it wasn't too terrible.
Yeah.
So you go from having $5 extra on your hand to now you make a $200 sale.
So now I got $200, yeah. And then with the money from those books is when I went to I think it's an advocacy center across the street that was doing a donation sale. And they had those two IBM specifically, typewriters, 2. And nobody wanted them. They were all big and heavy, and no one ever wants typewriters.
Mhm.
I make the most money on typewriters.
Wow.
I have another one sitting right there. I only paid $2 for it because the guy was like, F this, I don't want it. And I was like, take my money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Wow.
people want.
I never knew about typewriters.
Yeah, I think what it is, and now correct me if I'm wrong, Krista. I think what it is people want the old school feeling of being a writer. You get a different sense of feeling when you're that type of writer. I think when you're creating the great American novel, you're going to want to like channel that, you know.
Yeah. Someone else told me that it's like a dopamine thing, the clicking of the people.
It makes sense. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I was going to say that writers specifically, the flow of like the creative process when you're typing on something like that, it just like
it
ignites something right in your brain when it's like that.
Yep. But yeah, the IBM, I think one sold for, I mean, they always sell for this much. It was a couple hundred for one of them. And then the other one was like $150 or so. I've sold them up to $400.
Wow.
So far.
Wow.
And people in this area like electronics, and I noticed that very quickly. So the electronic things are the ones that I really do find. I have an entire shelf dedicated to electronics, like right here, and there's no point in it because once I list it, it sells. So I can just literally have a shelf dedicated to that, not the whole bookshelf that's there. They sell so fast, and I find all of it, lucky for me, a lot of it sells local, like that laser disc player. People saw me picking that up and they're like, who is going to buy that? Like, no one wants that. And I was like, really? Because someone just paid me $250 for it. And I paid like $6.
So you're talking about a laser disc player. Walk us through, where did you find that? When was this?
The laser disc player came in a huge lot that I thought was going to be a total dud, honestly. But the lady only was asking $100. How
many times I've been there?
And I know, I was like, oh my God, this is not good. This is not good. Because the picture was all messed up. I couldn't see any of the model numbers. I couldn't really look it up. I could tell what some of the stuff was because I've had it before. But then again, these models, if you get them close in model numbers, they look very similar, and you'll think you have one thing and it's something else. And it can honestly be like hundreds of dollars difference. Like, you need to know the model numbers. You really should anyway. But she was only asking $100. And from what I saw, there was a good amount there. And this lady contacted me, I think, through Facebook. I put a post out about wanting to buy stuff. Just stuff. Like stuff that you don't want. You want me to clean out your basement? Got you. You want me to clean out your attic? Not doing that. Sorry. Just different things. Mm-hmm. And she contacted me. She was like, I don't know why this is happening to me, but nobody wants to come see the stuff. And I had a whole estate sale, cleared out the whole house, but nobody wants the stack of electronics. And I'm like, because they all look dusty and dirty. So she was like, I only want $100. She had this really nice camera in there and some camcorders, a 200 CD changer from Sony, the laser disc player. a bunch of cassette players that none of them worked. None of the cassette players worked. A couple of head units. I don't even have any of it left. All of it sold. A VHS tuner. All kinds of things. This guy had everything, like stuff I've never even seen before. You should have saw me playing with my VHS player with that thing. It changed like the colors and everything, and it had 100 knobs on it. And I was like, okay, whatever. And I just listed it.
Wow.
I made sure it worked and I listed it. But I found that stuff through making a post and someone contacting me saying that, hey, my neighbor left me this property and I don't know what to do with the stuff. Had a whole estate sale and this is left over and you're like the only one who seems like would want it. After having, estate sales don't just happen in one weekend. They do like the first weekend, second weekend, they probably keep going for a month. And this lady had everything cleaned out. The house was empty except for that stack of electronics.
Wow.
And I was like, well, gave her the $100 and took it all. And I know cassette players are an issue.
How much do you think you made off that score or that pickup?
I can tell you what I made off it. Vendu's pulled up right here.
What? She's got the data.
Oh,
I'm so excited. Don't get me all excited now, Krista.
I can tell you right now.
I love that. She's like, let me go to the footage.
Let me go to the thing to do the thing, and I'll let you know.
Here are the
So
receipts.
these cassette players that didn't work, did you end up selling them for parts still, or?
It's not worth selling them for parts. No, not
No,
really.
so
No, I wouldn't suggest it either. Maybe if you know somebody, like I know someone who owns a vinyl record store, and sometimes she's into buying that kind of stuff.
Interesting.
I know that some resellers do that, like parts, and there's a specific category in eBay, right? You have to like list it under for parts only type of, yeah.
So I listed out after I threw everything away or got rid of the stuff that didn't work. I still have 22. I had 22 items listed and 14 of them sold. And the revenue is almost 1,000.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, let's go.
The next is
That's
great.
what I'm talking about.
And I still have a couple things left. I have a bag, another 2 units, I think, right here.
So do you do that when you go on Facebook Marketplace? Are you going to specific groups, like in neighborhood groups? What does that look like?
I usually make the post on a lot of the town knows my name now, because when I first moved here, they were like, "You're not from here." I was like, "Yeah, I know. We can tell you're not from here." So everyone like notices me, or they did notice me.
Yeah.
And when I started posting on my personal profile about this business that I'm now doing, everyone was on top of it. Like almost a lot of my followers when I first started were people in town that just knew who I was, and people that I knew in New York. But as far as the groups, I usually try to find like selling groups that are in my town and surrounding areas. So I'm in Stanton. I would cross post that to Stanton, Fishersville, Harrisonburg. Charlottesville is a little far. I have to go over the mountain for that. So I probably wouldn't. You'd have to have something really amazing for me to go there. And even like as far as Bridgewater, which is like 30 minutes or so. But I just post it to everywhere.
Yeah, I like the idea of that though, because you're not looking for someone's specific post. You're actually creating the lead yourself, which is something that I don't know if we've ever talked about on this podcast. So that's a different perspective right there. I'm sure there are more resellers doing that, but that's an interesting topic because it shows somebody that you don't necessarily have to be the first in line. You just got to be the first in communication with somebody. That's important.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like the electronics, I missed these whole estate sale. I didn't even know she was having one. I didn't even know that house was there. Like I don't drive. I don't go out. So I'm not in town, you know?
Yeah, sure.
And the whole house was already empty. I was like, well, damn, what'd you have in here if these were the electronics?
Right.
And I missed all of it.
It's the buyer's remorse.
Like, what's happening? But yeah.
Do you do a lot of estate sales? Do you go to a lot of those? Because I know. Let's talk about some of the stuff you're selling, because I think that'll inform the rest of this podcast. So, from what I know, you sell a lot of vintage. Let's talk about vintage. What would you say are you niched in vintage, or is it wide? What does that look like for you?
I don't really focus on any one thing. If it's old, I look at it. If it catches my eye, I look it up. And if it sells, then I just buy it. I'm not specific or picky at all, really. If it sells, if I can pack it, I'm selling it.
And do you have like a firm line if it's worth under a certain dollar, I won't do it, or is it just if it sells, I'll sell it? What's that?
Yeah. Well, now that some marketplaces have like the cheaper fees, sometimes I'll sell things for like $9.50 or so. Like if I come across the show, say like Gulf Coast Pickers, for example, is having a slow day and she's running lots. Yeah, like on Whatnot. She's running lots. And when you pay for those lots, you end up paying almost less than $1 a piece when they start throwing stuff together to get the show going. I'll buy a couple of those from people just to kick off, And surprisingly, a lot of the toys sell local to the people in my area. So I pay less than $1 for things and I sell it for $9, $8, $7. If it's less than $10, but I know it's going to sell, like Paw Patrol, for example, for me, every local around here wants it. So I just keep getting it whenever I can for cheap. And Ashley's face.
I'm like,
I can't give it away.
She hates Paw Patrol.
You want some? I will just start. Yeah.
Here's the box.
But if it's less than 10, I'll just list it local because I say that I'm on 7 marketplaces, but I also list on Nextdoor, OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace local.
Nice.
All of my eBay listings are available local. Anywhere that offers local, I'm on there selling local. Even apps like Nextdoor, where in some states it's not even that big of an app, but in this town it is. Everyone uses it. So I list stuff on there and people do buy from me off there. So technically I have like 10 stores or something, but I just say 7 because that's what I cross list to. That's what Vendu supports, is the 7.
So at what point did you start cross listing? Because you said you started on eBay, right?
Mm-hmm.
When did you decide you said you didn't believe in cross listing?
No, I wasn't for it at all.
I need to be cross listing. When did that change?
I had a slow month, I guess. I don't know. Sales were slow on eBay, just like they're slow on every marketplace. And I was like, you know what? These things need to be in other places. Like at first I thought it wouldn't make sense because I thought everyone was on every marketplace shopping all over, but that's not true. I signed up for Poshmark and Mercari, and I very quickly realized people who like Poshmark are only on Poshmark. Like that is where they shop, and they will not, they won't buy from anywhere else. I've had people contact me on Facebook asking me to list that item on eBay because they don't shop anywhere else, but they'll window shop. And if they notice you have multiple stores, I get messages of people, hey, I don't shop on this app, but can you put it on this one instead? I noticed you have a store there, but it's not cross-listed. And I was like, okay, I guess I can do that. I don't care. It can go anywhere. Yeah. But after a year, maybe a year and a half, I was having trouble finding things and it slowed down a bit. And then I started exploring cross-listing. And I don't suggest jumping into it at all. If you're not prepared for it, then maybe start with like one marketplace that doesn't have very many fees. Because I jumped into Poshmark second, which was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. Because Poshmark, you don't need a bot, but you will definitely get more sales if you use a bot to constantly share your listings, send out those offers for you. It's very community-based, like Whatnot. But on Whatnot, you can't use a bot. So you're actually in there communicating with people. On Poshmark, everyone uses the bot. So there's no real interaction.
So that Autobot that everybody uses is Autoposher, right? Isn't that what is now?
That's one of them.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that you mentioned that, Ellie, because that's the sponsor of today's video. I know we were just talking about Vendu, but hey, have you heard about Nifty? Nifty.ai can help your business with cross-listing. Like Krista was just mentioning, be careful with cross-listing. Make sure you're doing your inventories first. But it also does inventory control, uses generative AI, and also shares your closet with their automation features. Make sure you check out nifty.ai for all your cross-listing and inventory control needs. And thank you for listening to that one. Sorry, Krista. Appreciate you.
Oh, sure. He's sorry.
No, but in all seriousness, I would say that some sort of inventory control system, regardless of what that is, it doesn't need to be Nifty, the sponsor of this video. It could be anything, but I would say something, even if it's a spreadsheet, right? Get something for inventory so you can know where your stuff is when it sells. Wouldn't you agree? Like, you want to kind of know.
That's what I use Vendu for. Vendu gives you a spreadsheet. You put all the you've used it, so you know, but you can label everything. I can track my returns, my bad inventory, lots that I buy, like the electronics lot. I was able to just pull it up real fast, and it was on my analytics page. It's definitely helpful to have the spreadsheet so you know where everything is, where it all came from, if you're obsessive, I guess, like me, and want to keep everything together.
Yeah.
Like, I literally have labels that say She Shed, Rocket City Resellers, Flip the World.
Oh, wow. I made the list.
Yeah.
You're in the list, yes, because I bought from you.
I feel so honored.
Love that.
Yeah. We met on through Whatnot, and I can't say enough about that. I met a lot of great people through Whatnot. It is a very social thing, and I can't say enough about being social and reselling. I'm not a very social person in general. I've said that before on this podcast. It's not really too far of a stretch, but I do see the value in doing that, and that's why we're building through our social media presence right now to try to gain that traction with other resellers so that we can do a community in practice. And you're part of that, Krista. You were a huge influence in my Instagram journey. You're a powerhouse on Instagram. We'll get there in just a second. We'll talk about your presence there and how you built it. But I want to just thank you in front of all of our peers here in the community for being a reseller's reseller. I can't tell you enough what that means to us in the community. Just know that. So that's another reason why I wanted you on this podcast, because we are about resellers, and people that are for the community. So just wanted to take a moment to say those kind words to you. And let's talk about Instagram and how you built that monster. Let's talk about how many followers you have, why you did it, all the things.
Actually, if I'm going to be honest, I wanted to. I've tried to talk to certain people before, and it seemed like they just weren't interested in me because my following was low. You know, I say things and they don't take me serious. So I was like, all right, let me just stop trying to engage with everyone who doesn't care and build a following of my own, so that when I do try to talk to someone else, they're like, oh my God.
Yeah, the power.
Yeah. So
that's not a bad reason.
That's a good strategy.
That's how it was, you know? And it wasn't any one of you guys, it was just other people who are just simply not interested, you know? If you're not over that 10,000, they just don't care about what you have to say. That's how it seems anyway. They would rather hear from all of their other friends who have 20,000 followers versus my 2,000 I had before. You know, I just wouldn't get answers.
My 680 that I have currently have.
Yeah, I think I'm like,
you're getting there. You're growing faster than a lot of people. Trust me.
Yeah, I will say that I got monetized at 400, so you don't need a lot to make it happen. I just want to further. It's about engagement, about working with the community and all the things. It's not necessarily about followers. So, yeah. No,
not really. My following started coming through more when I stopped focusing on resellers only. Because I'm going to be honest, I post some things that aren't everyone's favorite topics to talk about, and I do not care. Right. And I lose a lot of followers as I gain them. So it was hard to get that traction. And I started realizing that, okay, resellers only, my social media being that niche is not helpful. It's not doing anything for me. So instead, I started focusing on small business community, not just reselling community, but small business. So that's how I met my friend Jennifer. She's a crystal seller. She used to buy crystals wholesale, and she sells them online. She sold them on Instagram, I think. And then she moved to Whatnot.
Such a good point. We were just talking about this the other day, Bob, where I kind of told you that the audience that I want to shift towards, not that I want to shift away from resellers, that's kind of our base, right, our ground,
right,
but just focusing on homeschooling moms, other moms in general who might need side income, side hustles, that kind of thing?
Actually, a lot of my followers or not a lot, but I have a lot of women followers, and a lot of them are just small business, not necessarily reselling, and they are homeschool moms too. They do some reselling, kind of, maybe, but a lot of them are like crafters, crystal sellers.
Yeah.
I know one lady who makes books. She makes notebooks out of old
golden
books. She buys antique and vintage books and old notepads, how they used to be all cute with the paper.
Yeah.
She takes those and she puts them into notebooks and sells them on Etsy.
I've seen people do that with the vintage golden books and make the golden books the cover of their journals. So cute. So
yes, and you see other people. I saw one girl on TikTok. She bought an old cartoon sleeping bag, like a Little Mermaid one, I think.
I love it.
Oh yeah, I've seen that girl stuff. Yeah,
the stuffing was all messed up. No child could use it as a sleeping bag unless you restuffed it. And since it had to be restuffed anyway, she did that and then turned it into a jacket, into a winter coat. And she did well. The picture lined up. It lined up in the back. The sleeves were nice. I was like, that's a business in itself. And that's what she did. She bought messed up things and turned it into something else. I have people who buy from me in my Whatnot shows. They'll buy these little circle brooches that I have that I can't sell anywhere else but Whatnot. And I have crafters come in and they're like, I need circles. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I have circles. And they're like, I need 25.
Oh, random.
Gotcha. I'm pretty sure I have 25. Let me look. And they just come in asking for weird stuff, and they turn it into something else. I had one friend who bought a brooch with these dangly things on it. I checked the bay. It didn't sell for anything, so I put it in a show for $3. She bought it and did things to it, and then sold it for $30. She bought it from me for $3.
Upcycle your life.
I love that kind of stuff. I live
amazing.
Yeah.
And I was so happy for her when she was able. She sold it quick too. She bought it from me. I shipped it out fast. She already had an idea in her head for it. It was amazing. She glued on this plastic eyeball to the middle of it because it was a circle, and then she took apart a watch and took all the gears out and had the gears dangling down from the chains that were already there. So it was very horror, steampunk. It was just her style.
Yeah.
And it sold the day she listed it. She started her show. This was new, sold. I think someone even bid it up 1 or 2 times. And I was like, that's amazing. Good for you. I couldn't sell it for $3 the way I had it. And she put in the work. She worked all night on that thing.
So let's talk about the power that you have leveraged using social media and bringing people to your Whatnot shows. How has that worked out for you? And was it a slower growth? How long did it take you to build your following? Or at what point were you
my following on Whatnot?
So your Instagram following, at what point did you kind of see them trickle into Whatnot?
Actually, that's really funny. I have people come into my show on Whatnot not realizing that they follow me on Instagram. And they'll go find me and they're like, oh, I'm already following you over there. And they come back to the show and they're like, apparently we're already friends. It's just, I'm already in the business of small businesses. So when people come across me on another app, they're just like, oh yeah, I already follow her because that's the community I've been in for a couple years now. I didn't ditch reselling. I do still have resellers there, but a lot of my following is homeschool moms, crafters, and just other kinds of sellers that aren't resellers. There's so many options apparently.
That's awesome.
It's just wild. I don't think anyone specifically found me on Instagram and then went and followed me on Whatnot. I wouldn't know because I'm not there. I'm not them. But no one's ever told me that they did that. I don't think my Instagram following has anything to do with how my Whatnot shows or following is.
Let's talk about Whatnot for a second. Now, is it a slow burn for you, or is it one of those things that are you've had to really be intentional with? Or I guess, is it growing in the way that you think it should grow right now, or is it something that's organically growing over time?
on that app, I'm actually really surprised about how fast it's growing.
Okay. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting, well, I went into Whatnot not expecting anything at all. It was kind of...
That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. I just kind of jumped into Whatnot, which I don't suggest doing for anything. But I heard a lot of people...
Yeah,
I heard a lot of people talking about it. And then I got into Rachel Strickland's stories on Instagram, and she was talking about how if you use a seller link...
a good reseller right there.
Mm-hmm,
I love her.
If you use a seller link, you get approved quickly. And I was like, well, if I sign up for Whatnot and I got to wait a month the way these people are talking about they had to wait, I'm going to lose interest fast. Like, they're going to finally approve me and I'm going to be like, not interested. I've moved on to something else. Like, you need to hold my attention. So I used her link. And I got a text like a minute and a half later saying, approved, this is your seller thing. Make sure you go to your stuff and do the thing. And then you're a seller now. And I was like, oh, damn. Okay. Wow. I didn't need it to be that fast, but cool. All right. And
so when did you apply? How long have you been on Whatnot?
Maybe 3 years.
Okay. Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, because I did my first show. I think it was 3 years. I did my first show. At the time, Crosslisters didn't support Whatnot. So I was already on Poshmark, and through Whatnot, you were able to import from your Poshmark closet to Whatnot.
I remember that.
Everything that I had was cross-listed to Poshmark anyway, because I was cross-listing already. So I just moved everything in. And I did a toy show because that was what I had an abundance of. And a lot of the toys that I had were smaller. And I knew I definitely wanted to focus on something small because of shipping. I looked into Whatnot and I saw a lot of people confused about shipping. So I took that into consideration. Like, well, if these people are confused, it doesn't take much to confuse me. So I know I'm going to be. So small. And I did action figures, actually. And I did the one show, and my dad bought a couple of stuff, and Rachel bought a couple things, and I was like, okay, cool. Did a second show, and there was, like, nobody there. But I also wasn't very active. Like, I wasn't the way I am today, like, humming to my songs and filling all the dead space with some kind of noise that I'm making, or my cat.
I've been watching it back there.
Shout out to your cat. What is your cat's name?
Like,
What's your cat's name? Callie?
Yeah.
What's up, Callie?
She's in the window.
But she's been chilling and showing herself the whole time.
Oh, I know. That's her spot. I just fluffed her blanket too, so she's all kinds of happy.
She's like, Mom, you're awesome.
But after the second show wasn't so good, I just kind of gave up on the live show thing. Because at the same time, they had the marketplace available too. And I still, to this day, am not comfortable with live selling. I still get really nervous before shows. Sometimes I randomly go on just to sell what I have an abundance of. And it's not that I don't enjoy doing the live shows. I just get nervous. I've never been someone who can be in front of a crowd. I've failed classes all through school because of presentations. Like, I didn't do them. I just wouldn't go. They were like, and I'll come in the next day for school and they're like, Krista, do you have your presentation? No, don't even ask me. You know I don't have it. No, fail me. I don't care. 0, that's fine with me. Wow. I didn't want to get up in front of a class. That's how bad it was. Like, I'm not good in front of a crowd. That's one of the number one
fears. Public speaking is one of the number one fears.
I don't like it. I really don't. It's not something I enjoy. And still as an adult, it's not my favorite thing in the world. But if I'm making money while doing it, makes it a little easier. Makes it just a little easier.
Hey.
So I don't know. The live selling thing, I stopped for a year and only listed to the marketplace. And I wasn't making the sales fast enough. Like, the 1,000 sales wasn't coming. And then I found a seller. I know.
Let's talk about that for a second. For those that might be listening that don't understand what we're talking about, Whatnot, and 1,000 sales, why don't you give us Krista's explanation of that?
My explanation of 1,000 sales?
Yeah, no. What that means for a Whatnot reseller.
Yeah, for anybody who
what it means.
Yeah, what does that mean for? Yeah,
because I kind of like it because it gives you a goal to.
Right. So a goal is number one. You have a goal to reach. But what do you get when you get 1,000 sales?
You get I was going to say that the instant payout, which is awesome.
There it is.
Because and what makes it awesome is that is how it ties together. They give you a goal, you hit that goal, and you get rewarded. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, you have places like eBay who are like, "Oh, hold on a second, we're changing policy. You're not getting your payout for 3 days." It's been instant payout since the day I signed up. What do you mean you're going to make me wait 3 days? Poshmark, Mercari, Facebook. Well, no. Mercari, you have to leave a review before you get paid, and then you got to transfer. Poshmark, same thing. No, Poshmark, you have to wait 3 days after delivery, then you get paid. BS, don't like that. Facebook, at least, if you do ship on Facebook Marketplace, because there's 2 ways to sell on Facebook. I don't know if everyone knows that, but there's 2 ways to sell on Facebook. Marketplace is one, and then having a shop is another. 2 totally different things, and they are not the same thing. If you sell on Marketplace, once it's delivered, you get paid. So as soon as that thing is marked delivered, it's being transferred to your bank account, directly to your bank account. There's no in between of, hey, it's here now you got to transfer it to there, or however you guys do it. There's no extra transferring. So Whatnot, it's awesome because they give you the goal, you reach that goal, you get the instant payout, and I'm pretty sure like one of the only apps that offers the instant payout where you can print your label that day and you can get paid that day. That's no other marketplace does that.
So you switch from 24 hours after delivery that you get paid before the 1,000 sales to as soon as you print the labels, then you get paid, right? Is that how it is?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say as soon as you print the labels.
Yeah, when you print the label, it's in there. It's in your payouts. What's available.
So that's impactful for a lot of people. So if you can get there and manage to get 1,000 sales, you can start using Whatnot for a lever for stuff that, let's say there's something that came up that you weren't expecting. You can make as much as you're willing to put in the time for. So your hustle, if you're really, going to grind it out, you can spend a couple of hours on Whatnot and make a car payment easy if you have the following for it. Or maybe even if you don't, all it takes is 2 people in your show. My wife just ran a show yesterday and did a car payment's worth in 2 hours. Yeah. And there was only 2 people or 3 people buying. So you don't need a lot of people in your show to make that kind of money. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication and a lot of forward thinking for that type of show to be successful. But that is the power of Whatnot. So I can't say enough about having that 1,000 sales, getting instant payout. I mean, if you want groceries or you need something fixed, man, that's the way right there.
It's really a game changer. Yeah. So Krista, you said that you took a break from doing live sales on Whatnot. What did that look like for you when you came back? Because like if you had like a dead room, so to speak, on Whatnot where you were kind of just dead air.
Yeah.
How did you come back from that? What was your plan when you came back?
Well, I spent the year that I wasn't doing live selling in other shows and taking mental notes of things that I liked as a buyer, but also as a seller that another seller did. So like, for example, I got into Rocket City's show and I liked how sweet Amanda's voice is, the way she talks to people. She sounds like a mom, And that was like, okay, don't be a bitch. Mental note, check.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
I actually got into one of Ashley's shows and I was just kind of lurking. We didn't know each other at the time. By the way, at the times that I found all of you, I didn't know all of you knew each other. Just going to say that. That was a shock to me. I found all of you at different times of the day, different weeks, never saw any of you in the other show. Mm-hmm. And then one day I just realized that all of you already knew each other. And I was like, well, damn, okay. That's odd. How did I find one group of people in my rounds of stalking, But I found Ashley and someone had came into her show, asked a question. And Ashley was like, hold on, it's right here. Went on her laptop real quick, put it in the buy now, and she was like, it's right there. And I was like, well, we're going to do that too. Write that down. Have it ready.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you spent my whole thing with preloading, it's a beast. But if you have somebody come in and they're looking for that one specific item, being able to just import it and be like, here you go, like it's in the buy it now, I can't show you, it's gone. But yeah, absolutely. I've stolen stuff from you, Chris. All of y'all. That's what I'm saying. That you learn so much from other people and other sellers on this app that it's like you take it and you make it your own, or it becomes like part of what you do. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. I had gotten into Gulf Coast Pickers show and I saw that all of their stuff was also preloaded. And I was like, well, that seems like it would make things easier, considering I heard other people saying that their video receipts don't line up sometimes. And I was like, okay, definitely don't want to go through that. And because I heard like Levi had to cancel a ton of orders last year or something like that. None of the receipts lined up. And I was like, okay, so no, don't want to do that either. But yeah, jewelry sellers, I went in there, and different toy sellers, and I just kept taking just mental notes as a buyer. If I was there buying only, this is what I like, this is what I didn't like. And everything that I didn't like, I make sure that I don't do. Because if I don't like it, odds are other people don't like it.
So I just want to explain for anybody who doesn't know Whatnot. When you preload an item, you are taking a photo of it, putting in a description of what the item is, and then you can run it based off of that photo. What that means is when you go to ship, that picture is attached. You can also load a tab that will just be a random item, and then it'll count for you. So you go random item 1, random item 2, random item 3, you know, and then if you don't keep track of those numbers, or if one number is off,
guilty.
The whole shebang is off, and so like you have to
so
sit there and watch hours of feed to try to figure out
exactly
where the numbers got messed up. So in case anybody who isn't on Whatnot doesn't understand that,
there are ways to do random better. Trust me, I've figured them out, but it came at a cost. And everything that Chris is telling you guys to do about, you know, preloading, and that's the way. Do that instead. Learn from me. Don't be that guy.
It just makes everything easier when I preload, because everything I already have it listed. It's all already cross listed. So people are like, "Oh my God, you're doing all that work and yada yada," and I'm like, "The work's done. Like I cross list. That's what I do." So it's not really work. It's stuff that needs to be done anyway.
Some people make a clear definition between what they sell on other platforms and what they sell on Whatnot. I'm specifically that way myself. I will not bring vintage normally to Whatnot unless it's like really, really long tail stuff. Maybe not. But so you don't make that differentiation. You bring everything that's sold on your platforms, you bring to Whatnot. Is that what we're saying?
Everything's cross. Oh yeah. If something isn't cross listed, it's an accident. Yeah. Unless it's too heavy, because Whatnot has the weight limit for shipping. So like some of my electronics can't exactly be listed on there. They're just well over 15 pounds, like that laser disc player. Holy F. I didn't think I was going to sell it. I'm so glad I couldn't even pick it up.
Wow.
It was so heavy.
For you.
So heavy, huh?
I have a question for you. What is your experience when it comes to Whatnot and cross-listing as far as price differences? Because what a lot of people will say is that they come to Whatnot to buy cheaper. Sellers are also trying to bring things and sell them cheaper, or under the assumption that maybe their higher dollar items won't sell on Whatnot. So instead they just keep them listed. What's your opinion on that?
Bunch of BS. I was just talking to a seller yesterday. I was like, I don't want to start my stuff at $1. Then don't.
Absolutely.
Who said show me the rule where it says you need to start your auctions at $1? Where is that? That's what everyone does. No, that's what those people do. Those people who promote their show and do giveaways literally every 5 minutes, back to back to back to back. All those people are in there waiting for a free sticker. They're not there buying. Don't compare yourself to them. And you don't have to start at $1 like they do. There's no way. Mama Cat Thrifter saw I put oh my gosh, I'm so sad it sold. I put an antique watch chain, a Simmons, I'm pretty sure, oh, my heart's racing about it. I'm so sad it's gone. It was just a really old watch chain. Had the Simmons name on it. It was antique, Victorian, beautiful watch chain. And I specifically didn't want to put it on a flash sale because I knew it would sell. And that day was really slow, and I had a couple of slow shows, and that item had one save on it, and I knew there was someone that wanted it, and they just didn't want to pay my asking price. And I was like, all right, to kick the show off, I guess I'm going to put it on sale. And I put it on like a small sale. It wasn't even huge. Normally I run sales for 60% off on a lot of my jewelry because I get it for cheap enough where I can do that.
Yeah.
I also list it at a point where if I do 60% off, I'm still in the profit by a few dollars, as long as that buyer stays and buys a couple things.
Yeah.
But as soon as I put it on that flash sale, someone popped in and bought it right off, and that kicked off the whole show. It was a $90 sale.
Nice.
And I think I was asking a little over $100 for it, so I didn't put it on a huge sale.
So is that your highest selling item on Whatnot, or what for all of you? What's your highest selling item that you have sold on Whatnot?
I would have to check. It might be the watch chain. I don't know. I feel like I've sold something else on there that might have been more than that. Let me look.
I don't know about Rocket City Reseller, but Fiona's Finds sold that El Gato, that Douglas cat for what, $450 or something like that?
Yeah, I mean
$450. Yeah.
Yeah, $450.
Right.
Yeah,
I saw that. You put it on you put it on the page.
And it started at $5.
Yeah. That was wild.
And that's not the only thing that she sold for that much. Didn't she sell I want to say Dakin? I don't think that's right.
Well, we did a auction for a charity once with a Bucky Beaver that a bunch of resellers signed when we were in Nashville. And I think that Ruth Ann bought it. I want to say she paid like $250, $275 in there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we've done
That
a
is
few.
so sweet.
Yeah, we've done a few things, but we've had buyers just drop like $400 or $500 in a show.
Yeah.
Just over the course of time. So like you said, when you kick it off and they buy one thing, they unlock, you can have it set up where you can do free shipping after a certain point. That's the power of Whatnot. And you can have them buy a few things, and next thing you know, two, 3 items are into free shipping. They're going to continue to buy, because if you can keep your prices kind of, fair, they're going to be like, yeah, this is not a bad thing, and I can get a lot more for a good price. So
yeah,
there's a lot of benefits to it.
For sure. I really don't know what my highest selling item was. It could be the watch chain, but I also feel like I might have sold something on there for a little over $100. And I just don't remember what it was. Since I started doing live shows, my jewelry and the live shows have taken over my orders page. So I guess I can check Vendu, but I'm not seeing it.
That's okay.
I'm not sure.
I guess my point was, you can be pleasantly surprised by still pricing your items at the price that you want for them and not undervaluing yourself. I think my highest selling item was about $140 for a Hello Kitty Build-A-Bear on Whatnot.
Nice.
I also sold some Paw Patrol, a little set of six or 8 light up Paw Patrols for like $60. Okay. Paw Patrols. Some of us can't get rid of those on Whatnot, right? So
right.
I mean, the possibility is there. That's just
for sure.
Section.
I have another good example about that. There's so some of the pins that I sell, they're like the almost cartoony maybe Hallmark holiday pins, and you'll pop into a jewelry show and they'll sell those by the lots because they just don't think they sell. Meanwhile, I jump in there and I'm buying lots of 100 or more, and that's what I'm running in my shows, are those things. And people will bid. I just need you to bid one time. Like, I don't need people bidding stuff up in my show. I just need to make sales. That's it.
Correct. You don't have to have somebody constantly bidding.
No.
If you're putting it at a price point where you're going to get more than what you made out of it, where you're feasible, I'm good with if you swipe once. Because as long as I'm getting the return on investment more than that, absolutely. It doesn't have to be bid all the way up. You don't have to, as you said. I think it's smart, the concept of I know a lot of people think that you go to Whatnot and it's cheap here. It's like, yes, because there are a ton of resellers out there that we're finding the stuff at pennies, maybe a quarter, that we're like, hey, if you want to take it and flip it and you go and you hold on to it for 2 years and get your $300 for it, have at it. Versus you have, I think, I'm trying to remember exactly how Bob put it, the fast nickel or the slow dime.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I get called a slow dime all
I'm
the
like,
time.
Yeah.
I
struggle.
I'm in between. I'm like, I'm like the fast nickel. I'm good. Okay, I've reached that point because there's stuff that I've had that I'm like, why? Why are we going to sit here and hold on to it forever and ever? Let it go. Let somebody else get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And these pin, they're like handmade pins. I even go back to the sellers that I bought them from because they'll stop in my show because I made a purchase. It's just the way it works on Whatnot. And they're like, I can't sell that in my show. And I'm like, because you run all of your good stuff at $3. You're going to run a little Hallmark pin and people are going to be like, what the F is this? That's not what you run in your shows.
Yeah.
I didn't set the standard that high. I said, this is what I have. You can bid the one time. I'll drop it to $2 if I can. $2 a piece, $3 a piece. You got people coming in there buying 5 to 7, 10, 15 things for me, because like I said, I have a lot of crafters in my shows. So they pop in and they're like, I need your weird shapes. I need your circles. I need your Avons or whatever, but plastic only. You know, I want the handmade. I'm redoing a jean jacket, you know, things like that. I have pieces in my store that are worth a lot, like the Simmons watch chain. I almost want to tell you how much I paid for it because I bought it in a lot, and it's going to blow your guys' mind because I was in a show
ready.
and they just ran it a little lot of cufflinks and a watch chain. That's it. That's all it was. And it wasn't even that many cufflinks. I think I paid $10 for the entire lot. That's with shipping because they ran it sudden death.
Wow.
And they were just like, take it. And I was like, I don't know what that chain is, but it looks interesting. And I think once I got all of my cost of goods out, I'm pretty sure I only paid like 10 cents for each item, like each set of cufflinks and the watch chain, all that. It was like 10 cents each.
That's awesome.
After that. So, I mean, and that's a good way to start too. If you're like wanting to resell and you don't have anything necessarily and you're not trying to sell any of your own stuff, you can get into shows where they have a big crowd and they're running everything sudden death because they need to get through. They need to show to go and be done because they're just not trying to be here all day. And if they didn't run it sudden death, they'd be there all day.
This is becoming a lot about Whatnot, but I think this will be true in any other aspect of a business as well. There's no right or wrong answer, I think, to how you run your show or how you run that business or what you decide to do, whether that means you're going to push volume or, you know, quality or how you want to make your money. There's no right or wrong answer, but I do think that the reason that the $1 start is pushed so hard is because of the storage unit category. You know, they're buying these storage units and they have thousands upon thousands of items they got to get rid of, and they don't have the time to sit there and look through everything or know everything. So I think that that's made a big difference on how and why that $1 start is so heavily pushed.
Buyers. Yeah, I was going to say buyers become conditioned too. It's like they see it in one, they expect it in everybody.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And that's just not the way.
It's not ideal for the rest of us who don't
It's
Right.
not.
do that.
It's
Yeah.
really not. And you know, when I used to buy these jewelry lots, I would go through them real quick and I would cross list the things because in a lot of the lots, the things are signed. But honestly, the things I'm running for $3, you check eBay and they're selling for $3. Like that's what they are. I'm not going to list it on eBay though, because one sale for one person after shipping and I got a packet and all, it's just not worth paying. It's not worth it. But for a show, it's perfect because I don't need you to bid it up. I just need you to buy it. Right. And I get those random crafters in there that are just like, give me all of it.
Let's talk about Whatnot really quickly. You just recently hit 1,000 sales. Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Where
Actually,
you are
I
now.
think I'm at 1.2 now.
1.2. Man, that escalated quickly. And I noticed something about your profile that you're going to be doing more rate trains. Let's talk about that. Ooh. What's a rate train? For those that don't know, what's a rate train? Give us Krista's lowdown. Explain it to someone that may not know what it is.
This is how I explain it. You're basically passing the mic. You're taking your crowd and you're sending it off to the next person. So one seller's on for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, 45, whatever. They're on. Whoever's in that show, when they're done, you move as a group to the next one. You're passing the mic to the next seller. It's all by time slots. It's all scheduled, sometimes months in advance, so it goes smoothly. And that's all you're really doing. You're passing the mic. Yeah,
when you move, I move, just like that. I feel like that's
you move as a group to the next seller, and you keep going.
Yeah, that's a great explanation. I love that one. So I know that you're doing raid trains now more. So let's talk about what does your lineup look like for the people that might want to be following you? What are you selling? What are those lineups? Who are you working with? What are the times, the days? Let's get into the schedule, because that's important. I want to make sure that people understand where they can find you in the world. So,
Well, Drifting Thrifters on everything, just like it says on my name there. I think on Poshmark and Twitter, I had to modify it a little bit because the username characters, you don't have as many to play with, and Drifting Thrifters is just way too long. But yeah, Drifting Thrifters, the raid train I'm working on is a jewelry raid train. I noticed that a lot of my friends are wanting to get into the jewelry category because everybody wants an easier show. You know, you have your crazy shows, and then you have shows where like people are buying a lot, and some people are like, oh damn, I gotta unbundle this and redo it because all of the plush don't fit, or all the glass doesn't fit, or all the Tupperware doesn't fit. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we know. And the jewelry thing is easy, and people are starting to notice how easy it is, and they're starting to want to be part of that. And some of the people that I do talk to on Whatnot, I followed them there from Instagram, like T. Linman Collectibles. Tanya, I've been friends with her. We've been following each other on social media for like 2 years, I think. We've been friends, and she's been like on and off my page, and we kind of talked a little bit. Mountain State Pickers is another one where I met her on Instagram, and I realized she was also on Whatnot, and that's what started when I started noticing my followers on Instagram were on that marketplace, is when I started wanting to be over there. Yeah. But yeah, I don't remember.
What days and what times are you going on Whatnot? When's your how about we start here? When's your next show? What time and what day and what is it? Time, date, and what are we? You're doing jewelry. Yeah, your next show. You're doing jewelry. Is it tomorrow?
I think I am doing jewelry on Tuesday.
So the problem with this one is it's a pre-recorded show. Oh.
What's today's date, dude?
When this films, when this releases, it'll be May 18th, and
I don't remember.
It's not May 18th right now. It's a lot earlier.
So you know what would be good to say, since it's going to be May 18th, is that my raid train is going to be on June 16th.
There you go.
And
there it is.
My link is scheduled all the way out till December because I plan on making it a monthly thing.
Good for you.
I noticed that I have a bad habit of like disappearing because I'm bad at getting close with people. And when I notice that we're getting along a lot, I just stop and I go way over here by myself. Because
relationships are hard.
I don't know. And then I come back a month later like, hey, I missed you. Well, where you been? I don't know. I just needed space, I guess. I don't know. So the raid train will keep me
accountable,
yeah. So that I stay on the app more, because I feel like my shows have dropped the way they did because of how I stop and go. Which the first stop and go wasn't my fault. I was in the middle of a move and it took all summer. So that was like kind of an accident. But there are times where I just have a bad show and I'm like, I'm deleting the app. I'm done.
Listen,
And those are just my feelings that day. I wake up the next morning and everything's fine. Like I'm still breathing. We're alive.
You're not alone. Just so you know. First of all, we've all had those moments where it's just like. But the one important part of your story that I've noticed, and I've said this in many other podcasts, is fail fast, fail forward. You continue coming back and getting up. That's the New York in you, probably. You gritty, like you get up, you get knocked down, get back up, and get after it. So that's what you continue to do, and that's a testament to your character, and that's what it takes to be successful. Listen, you're not afraid of going live. You're afraid of the success that comes with it, because once you're successful, you're that new person. You're not the old person anymore. That's what you're afraid of. You're afraid of
Sean said the same thing.
Wow.
So think about that for a second. You have to leave behind the comfort that you've been accustomed to. You have to become something that you never thought you could be, right?
Yeah.
So now, and you're afraid of losing that, but just know that you were successful that time and those times before. So you are that person. Now you just got to accept it. So there's some wisdom for you.
I know. It is a problem. I don't know. I get discouraged really easily. It doesn't take much. So that one bad show, it really gets me. And it hits harder when you cross list the way I do. And
when you're doing other things and whatnot,
back
burner,
it's not just me wanting to give up or anything. It's also being almost overwhelmed by how much I have to do. Not so much overwhelmed, because I can take a step back if I want to. This is my business.
Right. Yeah.
But sometimes you list and you're not making sales on the other marketplaces. You know,
pivot,
everyone has those just dead. It doesn't matter if you have 7 to 10 marketplaces like I do. I have those dead weeks too. And then you try to do a live show and it's also dead. And you're just like, okay, well, how am I going to pay my bills now? And it's just that, it's a lot of that too. Just how much goes into the job. And then you put in time to something and almost get nothing out of it, which it's never actually nothing, because a lot of the people, here's something else that I did want to say for people who don't like the live selling, who feel like I do when you have a bad show. Sometimes people come into your show and they're just window shopping that day. They don't have the money yet. Their check hasn't deposited yet. And they just want to see what you have. If you were to go on like after Thursday when people got paid, I can almost guarantee that those people who were in your show, those people who gave you that follow while they were there, plan on coming back. And they're probably definitely going to buy something, because something caught their attention in the first place to follow you in the first place.
Absolutely.
So every time you do a show, you're showcasing what you have. And the people that stop in are looking, they're seeing what you have.
Yeah.
They're feeling your vibe. They're paying attention to what they're looking at and how you're describing things. Me, myself, I hop into shows and I won't buy anything for a month until I know that I can trust buying from you. You know, I'm not just going to hop in a show and buy something, because I don't know who you are. Like, I have no idea who you are. So, especially on Whatnot, where everything is so personal.
Yeah.
Specifically, you know, like on eBay, I can get on the marketplace and buy from a stranger. I don't care. But Whatnot's not exactly that. It's not the same thing.
It's social media and reselling. So
right.
Roll into one. Yeah.
So yeah, if you're having a bad show, just think of it as like you're showcasing what you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good strategy. Marketing, right? You're continually marketing yourself and your goods and your presence. You're building a brand, all the business things that you don't think about what you're doing, but that's what you're doing. So, and that's why this podcast exists, to be able to kind of outline that and give people a frame of reference. And speaking of this podcast, we've reached the time, Krista, where we do a thing on the podcast where we ask the person on here, who would you like to see on Launchpad Reseller Podcast? Krista, Drifting Thrifters. Let's go.
Who do I want to be a guest on here?
Yes.
Hold on, let me think.
Uh-oh. We need the Jeopardy music, but we'd probably get a strike on YouTube.
You know who would be good on here? I know. I don't know if he'll say yes, though.
That's okay.
You guys ever heard of the Auction Professor? Dawn?
Auction Professor.
On YouTube?
On YouTube.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you heard of him and his stuff and
I'm
his
Patrick's
Patreon
son.
and all the things he sells and the amazingness of his knowledge?
Yes.
That's who you need to have on
I know.
here.
If y'all don't
You
know,
want to learn something, that is who you have on here.
I'm
100%.
subscribing right now.
The Auction Professor. The
Auction Professor, you've
just
heard
like
it
that.
here. Auction Professor, what do you say? Do you accept the challenge from your loyal fan, Drifting Thrifters, Krista? Let's go. Hopefully,
I don't know.
listen, and hopefully we can get in touch with them and kind of make it happen. We love
He's-
those types of resellers and those types of educators in the space, because you learn a lot from folks like that. And I wasn't tracking that, but now I am.
Oh my gosh, Bob, it's mind-blowing the things that he knows. He's very knowledgeable in everything you don't sell.
he will feed your ADHD brain right now and the wanting to know more and grow more in like every category.
But the problem with that is I'm niche down in toys. I can't
Expand.
To learn about the things, I don't know.
But
I love learning.
wait, and here's the best part. Actually, you might be niche down in toys, but what he focuses on is smalls. So a lot of the stuff is small. If you could just clear one shelf, you
Like
could
postcards,
black and white photos, advertisements, buttons. He sells everything.
I do like pins, like the little military pins and stuff like that, and flags.
I sell those. I find those around here. Those old medals, NASA stuff. I find all that stuff around here. But that's
Did you know I'm your biggest fan with that stuff? You got to message me personally. I'll buy it from you.
Of NASA? I still have NASA stuff left.
Yeah, Krista, I worked there. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I think you've told me that before. Yes.
Little thing I do for work. I'm a
I
9 to
think.
5er.
I'm pretty sure I heard you mention it, but it was in the middle of a show, so it kind of just breezed by.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be a distraction in the show, and I didn't want to continue asking. So
Yeah, Launchpad, it was formed on the backbone of Huntsville, which is a proud contributor to all things for our mission to not only the moon, which we just went there. That was awesome, Artemis.
Crazy.
And also, we partner with a lot of other places, Houston, Texas, and Florida, and all the places. So we work in like a network down here in the South to get it done for human exploration into space. So it's a really fun time and a fun thing to be a part of for sure. So
Definitely.
yeah.
I was going to say, sorry, go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
No, I was going to say real fast that I used to pay for the Patreon for the Auction Professor.
Really?
Yeah, I did. And his information on there is
Even better.
I know, Ellie, you already watch him. If you ever found the time to just pay for even 1 month to go look at his stuff,
Wow.
you think your mind's blown on YouTube. Girl. That is, you know what that is? That is product research. That's what that is. That is a write-off. Because the knowledge that he's giving you, he read out of books.
All Christopher tax advice.
Yeah, right.
Not tax experts, I know. But
she's not a CPA. She just plays one on YouTube.
No, I'm not. I'm not a CPA. But there is a thing called product research, and people should look into it. Ask your CPA about it.
Yeah.
There you go. Another expense. And this timely because at the filming of this, we're just 4 days past the 15th of April. And taxes. For those who are out there, what are your advices? What's your advice for people who are scared of that in the business? What would your general advice be? I know you're not a CPA, Krista. What would your general advice would be?
I'll
Obviously
tell you what I
right?
did. We're not CPAs here, but I got in contact with a CPA at TurboTax, and I asked them, what should I keep track of? How should my spreadsheet look to make a CPA's job easier? What am I keeping track of? Just tell me. And this guy was awesome. He just gave me a list. Well, this is what you need. And he actually sent me a message and wrote it down, like what I have to keep track of. And my bank account works the way Vendu does with the label thing. So if I'm buying shipping supplies, I just put it in the label shipping supplies. And then at the end of the year, you click the label, you do the math, and you just stick it in. He told me to have it already added up and on another page where it can easily be seen or whatever. And that's how I figured out how to do my bookkeeping well enough to do my business. got in touch with the CPA and told, you tell me what I need to keep track of. I already have a system that works of keeping track of things. Now I need you to give me a list.
There you go. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Probing questions are oftentimes the way to go. So, Krista, we want to thank you for coming on the podcast. Before we end things, I'm going to open it up to the rest of the team here. If there's any other further questions, I know we don't have chat live to be able to ask questions, but I want you guys to feel comfortable enough, those who are watching this on when it does launch, to leave your comments in the chat. And also, Krista, we're going to partner with you in some way where you can have access to be able to answer back. We'll figure out what that looks like.
Awesome.
So we'll do that. But Ashley, do you have anything further for Krista before we wrap things up?
The biggest thing I want to say is I am proud of you for continuing to keep going. I know that is a struggle, like you said. Sometimes you go live, nobody's in there, but you have been very consistent. You're doing different pop-ups, different items. You're getting a whole bunch of new sellers in there. So excited for you and your 1K and continuing your success and going live. Keep it up because you've been doing really good. Every time I look, I get a notification. Drifting Thrifters, Drifting Thrifters. I was like, go girl, get it. So keep it up.
I was doing that because actually only Courtney knows this, but Ashley challenged me to be consistent. She said at least 1 week, but the deal was consistent. So sometimes I wake up early and I'm like, sell pictures today?
Yeah.
Okay. I have I have 3 bags of random pull jewelry. We can do one of those. Pop up real quick, 45 minutes. Let's see. Because honestly, even if you're on and no one's there, these people got the notification you were live. And they weren't there, so they don't know what you had. Now you have that, oh God, I missed out feeling. So your next show, odds are they're going to be there. Mm-hmm.
Love FOMO as a business driver.
That's
why I don't preload, by the way. You never know what I'm going to pull out of the sack. Santa's got something in his sack.
I always keep a random pull bag near. If I'm doing shows, I have my pre-listed stuff, but I also have lots of, like, say, I did the cost of goods real quick. I know what I paid for everything, but now I have to list it, which sometimes takes time. So as I'm listing the higher end stuff, I'm keeping the random pull bag close, and I pull it out as a random pull. And when people seem bored, I'm like, well, I got a bunch of this random stuff, and everyone's like, random? Ooh. Questions? Yes, let's look at the randoms.
You show someone a big bag of just everything, they're just automatically, they're just going to be locked in.
That's what I do. Like
what in there
right
do
here.
I need?
I go like this. I'm like, you guys seem a little bored. Maybe you guys want to look at something like this? And it's like a whole bag, and I just take it and go, let's look at it. And they hear the bag fall, and they're like, what's that? What'd you get? Is that new? Like, that just came in? What is that? What is there any of this in there? And they just start going crazy sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't work, but sometimes it does.
Yeah. What about you, Ellie? You got any final questions for Krista?
I don't have any questions. I do just want to touch on, I think that there is an irony in the amount of us live resellers who are a little bit introverted. And so I want to encourage others who are watching this and who are seeing and hearing Krista's kind of testimony here. Jump in, give it a chance. There is definitely potential even for introverts to do this. I'm so glad that you're kind of being able to do this consistency thing with your Ray trains. That's really awesome, because it is easy while you're live selling to be out of sight, out of mind. So keep that in mind, but progress over perfection, right? That's the goal. And that's all it takes.
And I want to just remind people of a few things. I talked about this in one of my latest videos that won't drop probably for 2 months because I'm so behind in editing. But I want to mention it here in this podcast because it'll get out sooner likely. So if you want to take in consideration fate, focus, attention, time, and effort, if you put that into your business, you will be successful. Remember, fate. Focus, attention, time, and effort. It also means a few other things. Focus, attention, time, and effort. Remember that. And I want to remind you guys, if you can't be good, at least be good at it. We'll catch you on the next one. Krista, hang on tight. We got one more question for you. All right.